Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So, we're going to do a step-by-step as we go along on converting a new bright Baja Extreme body onto my Litehawk Brute. So, off at the top. Now, the first thing you got to do is peel off all the posts. Okay, now, just give you an idea what I'm talking about. I'm talking about these posts here. Okay. Now, to remove these posts, what I had to do was take one of these knives here, heat the blade up super hot, and carefully go across and remove the posts. And there was some other pieces across here that actually held, I guess, part of the suspension on the thing originally. But they've also been removed so they don't interfere with the tires or anything. So all my posts are off now, so that part's prepped. The next part is figuring out exactly where I want to put the body, and to make it also look correct as possible. So I'm thinking it's probably going to end up going right about in here. Now the problem, I'm okay at the back end. My problem is going to be at the front end, but we have a solutional idea for that. These are tail booms off of the Litehawk Aero helicopter that I had spares of, and the holes are already actually drilled to perfect size for the locking pins. I'm also going to need extra locking pins that I'm going to have to drill holes for as well. But these are going to be pinned in place after I cut them to length. Now I'm going to have to cut them obviously long enough that I got a lot of extra meat left over so that I can get the body to actually sit and balance in the right spot. And then while that's on there and sit, I'm going to JB weld these steel pieces with the clips actually in place, these clips here, into there, so it's going to lock it solid and also make it nice and strong. Then what I'll do is I'll mark my areas where I'm going to want to put my new locking pins with probably a rubber grommet just to protect from the sticker getting scratched up, and then we'll do the final trim off later. But that will solve that, and I've got to drill my holes for the back in here yet, so I'm going to have to line all that stuff up as well, and everything else. But once it's done, this thing is actually going to end up looking like this in the end, or very close to this anyways. I'm hoping I can go right through the backs about here, because that would balance it out nicely, and then just have the shafts come up a little bit back in here, because I've got these concaved area here, right, and that's where these shafts are going to come up, and hopefully I'll have enough room to slip a locking pin in there to lock the back end down. But I got to try and get this proportionally evened out as best that I can anyway, and I should be able to do that, and yeah, it should look about like that actually when I'm done. And that's going to give a definite new look to the Litehawk Brute. I really like this Baja shell. Now, even though Baja or New Bright makes lousy RC cars, they make really nice bodies. And I got to agree with the guys, because I've seen a lot of videos even today on guys putting New Bright bodies onto their hobby grade machines, and it looks so much more detailed and better than, you know, these things here, right? But eventually I'm probably going to end up, not right away, but eventually I'll get these lights running, as well as some headlights and tail lights hooked up and running. And I like this body too, because it gives me this complete box inside that I can actually put something in there if I wanted to drive around. I don't think I'm going to use this as a beater truck when I'm done, just because I don't want to smash up a nice body after all that work. But you know, I'm thinking it's going to be cool. The other little mod I'm going to let you in on that I'm going to do is this back end here actually on the L969 holds a bumper section on these two holes. It's part of the support system, I guess. But all of the vehicles, like the Brute and the Blast, has this same piece as well. The L9, 59, 69, 202, etc. Anyways, I'm going to put a pin through here and make kind of like a pulling hitch type of thing. Or I may even modify it for like a rear winch or something. Anyways, I'll figure it out down the road. But the idea is I also want to have like a tug-of-war contest. So if I can find a pin that I can slip into here on this one and say on one of my other ones, I'm going to do like a tug-of-war test, and that gives me something to lock onto right away, and be kind of cool and fun, whatever. But that's kind of the idea. I'm going to actually make use of this back end piece here in some form or another. But this definitely was a solution. I was talking to my buddy there tonight. I was like, you know, how am I going to raise another 2.5 inches? Because that's kind of my height difference, to get this even. Because otherwise my tires are going to be like this, right? It's like, no, I need it up, and you know. And so that was the idea, was to actually use these, and they're metal, so they're going to be very strong. And by the time they are clipped in place and JB welded, they're not going to move. So that'll keep that steady. So this is basically part one. I didn't think of it at the time about doing step by step, so the next one that I do mod, I'll actually show you how to actually cut these off, how I actually did it. But the explanation is pretty basic. You heat up the blade as hot as you can get it, and then just gently go into it and carve it down. And even the antenna part here, where the original antenna came through, I actually carved a chunk out of that and then flat squished it down to seal it off. And so that worked out pretty good. And then when I put my headlights in, I'm going to have to remove these plastic ones and go with LEDs. And I might drill these. I'm not sure if I'll just drill right through them and go LEDs, or if I'll take them off first and maybe put some tin foil back there to make it shine really bright. Haven't quite decided on that yet, but as we go along, you'll actually see the changes to our Litehawk Brute. But so far, that's what we've got, and that's the kind of look we're actually going to go after. And you know, once the suspension goes down far enough, it should miss all the way around. So I don't think we will end up having to do any trimming if we get this set just right. Shouldn't have to trim any part of the body at all. So anyways, that's part one, and we'll see you back shortly with part two, and however other many stages are after that. And this will be one complete video, just so that you guys are aware. And we'll talk to you very soon. Hey guys, okay, so stage two is well underway. We've got our tubes cut from the helicopter booms. So the next thing we got to do is install them onto our mount, put the mount back in the truck, and hope we measured right, because this was a one-shot deal. So if I messed up, I'll have to order new booms. Anyway, so let's put our mount back in here. And that goes in there. That one goes in there. And we need our clips. That's number one. Number two. Okay. Now what this is going to do is allow us to line up the back end and give us an approximate idea where we're going to have to drill the holes for the hood mount. That's definitely way high up, which actually is fine because we do have adjustability up front here. So this is actually going to allow us to make a little bit of a change. Drop this down more. So this is actually right at the very bottom. The more of your mount you can have in your mounting area, actually the better. Especially before you drill holes, because even though it's high up, as it goes down it's going to move forward a little bit, so we have to actually compensate for that forward movement. Looks really good there. So basically right at the inside edge, that's going to be a dicey hole to drill, but that's where our backs are going to go. And that actually doesn't look too bad. You want to get this as even as you possibly can. Flashlight. So that's looking like it's going to be on the insides where the windshield goes in. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually mark that with nail polish, your best friend. First we got to drill the holes for the back. Get the back solidly mounted so they can keep the body as even as possible on here. And then what we'll end up doing is taking some nail polish, just to give you a bit of an idea. And what you'll do is put nail polish just around the top like this on each post, and then when you lay the body down carefully, it's going to make an impression. So you're going to want to let it sit and dry for a minute, and then that'll give you, within reasonable allowances, your spot for drilling under the hood, and you can drill the holes for that. So not bad for somebody who's doing this for the first time on my own. I didn't think I'd get this far on my own, to be honest with you. I actually called my buddy and talked to him and said, okay, I got this done. But I thought, you know what, it really can't be all that bad. So, and I know exactly where I got to drill the holes in the back. So I'm going to mark those out, and then I'm going to get the fronts marked, and I've got my shafts at a high enough rate that I'm going to be okay. And what I'm going to do, in order to know where I'm going to have to drill my holes on the pipe here for bottom clips, is I'm actually going to put black O-rings, tight-fitting O-rings, over top, and then balance the height out properly. And then wherever the body sits where I want it to, then that's where I'm actually going to go in at the base of that O-ring, and that's where I'll drill my holes for the bottom clips. and then I just got to take care of my tops and have my fasteners for that, and then just chop off any excess I have or leave it there depending on how much is actually sticking out in the end, because I don't know how much is actually going to, but you know, rough idea. Shouldn't have a whole heck of a lot sticking out, but I'll have some sticking out, so I can cut off a bit of the excess and trim the tops, and voila. Now, how I did this part with the tubes is I took my best guess and I used a pair of calipers, and I went to about 3.7 inches each, and that allowed me a little bit of trim room to actually get these back to 90 degrees. And I used my sander, my belt sander, with a little miter gauge to keep it even, and just buzz the fronts, and then very ever so lightly touch and make an outside chamfer on there so that it's not burred, and same with the bottom. But with to do the bottom end, because I had the extra, I just sanded, tested, sanded, tested, sanded, tested till the eyes on the pipe were exactly and precisely in line with the eyes through the mount itself, and then slip goes the clips and you're in business. So the other thing I'm going to have to do is I got to get these pipes to stay pretty much about like this at 90 degrees. So I'm going to have to see if I got some twist ties or some light duty elastic to hold them straight, and then that'll give me a nice set there for drilling with. And now, tuning the pipes, you got to tune the distance of the pipes so they're exactly the same length. You got to kind of eyeball that and get it as precise as you can as well, because that's going to make a difference when drilling your holes, because you don't want it to sit like this, so you got to have them even. Now, these leftover sections of pipe are actually pretty handy, because there's holes on each end already that are a little bit larger, but I can tune these for another body, okay, if I want to. So I have enough pipe left over. And you can see when I did the second measurement, I had about, you know, this is the longer section. I actually had to take that much off of the other pipe with the first pipe, and to get them even. So now these pipes sit evenly. I'm just going to pop these off to show you. So now I'm within just a hairball, so that's actually pretty good. That's going to be enough that it's not going to make any kind of difference at all. In fact, I put them on the table, get them to sit even. Very minuscule amount. Very minuscule amount. So not bad for eyeballing it. So that'll work. So anyway, that concludes this little port for now, and we're going to come back again and do the drilling of the holes, and that's really tedious, and I really don't want to do a lot of that sort of thing on camera, because I want to try and condense this video and keep it as short as possible, keep you guys, you know, entertained here. But just so that you know, this inside part in here, the pointy part of this mount, it's right along that edge where I'm going to be drilling on each one. So, and then that'll hold my bottom in, and that'll also tell me what adjustments I have to do, because I can actually go down a little bit further on these mounts, but not by much. But I can also go higher if I need to, but I already know I won't be able to go higher. So I was hoping to put these on the insides, and they're not going to go because the posts aren't wide enough. So it's going to sit on the inside part, which is fine too. That's not a big deal. And in fact, it's actually going to help me out in the long run by going on to the inside portions. But drilling this is going to be extremely tricky, because I've also got the rail in the way on the top of the bed here, and my drill bit has to ride along that very, very carefully. So it's going to be like a two-person job. I'll have to get my wife to hold the body secure in place, and I got to go at it real super light with actually a hand drill, not a power drill, but old-fashioned hand drill. So anyways, we'll see you in the next part. Hey guys, how's it going? Alright, so we got stage 3 now completed. Now I went with a zip tie to keep the poles straight, and I got my holes drilled in the back. They're dead bang on. I already test fitted them. Awesome. Ended up having to use for that, I think this is the one, 13/64 for the back holes, and that's a perfect fit for the back support pins. And our next size that I'm hoping I got eyeballed correctly, but if not, it should be a 7/32, but we'll let you know for sure once we get front holes drilled, because this is for the pipe. Now I've gone ahead and I've put some electrical tape on here, and hopefully that'll save my sticker underneath when I drill through the other side. And what I did was I put some nail polish on the inside, and then just gently got everything evened up to where I figure I'm going to need it, and as even as possible on each side too. And I've marked my spots by putting pressure on the pipes to the nail polish, held it there for about a good minute, and then let it go, and it makes some little impressions. So that's where I'm going to have to drill my holes for my pipes. And so that's going to be our next thing we're going to do. And then we'll see how the body sits. We'll put some O-rings on there, even up the body, and then we'll go on to the next spot. So we'll be right back. Okay guys, we got our holes drilled in the front, and we ended up with 1/4 inch drill bit for the holes. Fits nice. It's not snug, but it's not too loose. So now we need to dig through our O-ring collection here, and see what we've got. Yeah, looks like that'll fit. Okay, that goes like that. It's nice when you can find stuff right away. So we tried the other size drill bits and they just weren't enough, so I went up to the 1/4 inch, popped her in, and voila. And electrical tape actually did a really good trick on the top for not damaging the sticker too much, so that worked out really well. Now we just gotta slide that into position. That has to go actually up a little bit. So that actually just well, actually if we drilled the pinholes right under there, it would be really good. Full clearance on the steering. Ooh, nice. No interference at all there. Even totally bottomed out. It's going to miss the tire by 1/4 inch. Let's check our rear. That's gonna... well, it might... the tire's going to clip that end. So what we might have to do is just a little bit of trimming just on this back here. Just a little bit, just to get that to clear. And let's see. Looks like we got her fairly well centered. Now if they put the sticker in the right place from the factory, I'm only out by... not quite, maybe about 1/2 16th, so basically I guess about a 32nd I'm out by on the one pole. And depth wise, looks like it's not quite as much, so I'm actually really happy with that. That actually turned out really well. Now the big question is, can I get my back body clips in? Because if not, we're going to have to carve a little bit extra out of there. Oh, sweet, sweet. One went in. This is where it's going to be a little tricky. Aha! Bang on! Nice! Very nice. So just a little bit of a trim. So I'm just going to kind of like do a rounding trim on that so it still looks really natural. Or as natural is going to get anyway. But it looks like even my angle of my body went on very accurately. That's very well done. I like that. Great job. So now we've got all that done. Now I'm going to have to find a couple of washers to go over top the pipes. This gives it some extra security. But I'm going to have to drill those holes for the other two pins, which I'm going to have to now start taking pins out of another car's collection because I've already used up all the pins for this and I don't have spare ones for 110 and 112 scale, but I got some 116 or 118 scale pins, sorry, that'll actually go through this pipe as well. So I'm going to actually make use of those because I got a few spares, and I should have at least 4 of them anyways. And if I do, awesome, I'll check my collection. But we'll get that all leveled out and we'll take the pipes off. We're going to drill them. Now, if you recall, I was going to use JB Weld actually to put these pipes in and lock them down tight, but I don't actually see a need for that now. And the benefit is if I ever want to change this to a different body or go back to the original even, I've disrupted nothing. So I'm going to not JB Weld it. And this is, like I said, it's going to be like more of a show truck than anything. So realistically, I don't even have to trim that out at all to change any of the dimensions. It is going to go for a drive though, guys. I am going to show you this thing driving. So what I'm going to do to avoid the bottom out is I've got some preload spacers that I can tuck away in there, and I'm going to put 1 or 2 preload spacers on each side of the rear, and that's going to give me that little extra. But even just like normal running, this is going to be fine. You know, it's not going to bind at the back or anything, and with those spacers in there it's going to stiffen it right up, and it's definitely not going to have any bottoming issues. But this is where we're at so far, and I mean, for the first time I've ever done this in my life, I'm actually really proud of myself. I'm happy with the way it's turning out. Didn't really do much damage to the sticker, which was great. So electrical tape actually works, kudos. I was going to use Scotch tape, but I opted out for the electrical. And this way I could pull the tape back off without hurting the sticker at all, because the Scotch tape probably would have damaged it. So we'll get to the next stages and work on that stuff. So I got to go through my other parts collection, see what I got for washers and whatnot. And you know, I might even leave the pipes the height that they are, because by the time I get my washers on, because I'm thinking I might make some washers even if I can. I've got some plastic for that. I might even make a set. We'll have to see. But you'll see it on the next stage. And so we got to finish that off. We know that locks up perfect. That's all good. I do also still have to do my modification at the back. I found some CB aerial antenna that's actually going to work for that. I just got to drill this other hole at the back to the exact same size as this one, and then I can slip that piece in there and lock it down, and that's going to be like my little toe chain thing, and so have a tug of war contest or something. But so far that's looking really good, and it's not even gonna touch. That worked out nice for the heights there. That's really cool. Okay, so I'm a little excited, I'm sorry. But anyway, okay, we'll see you in the next stage. Hey guys, welcome back. Alright, so we're at our final stage, and I've got my shafts shortened up. Now I tried drilling them, and I broke 2 drill bits trying, so I kind of gave up on that idea. So what I did was I took some O-rings, put them on to get my heights right, put the washers on, and then just got it all to the height that I needed, and hot glued them onto the shafts. So now all I gotta do is we'll lift her up, and we're gonna lock these down in place. Like so. Come on. There we go. Pins are in. There we go. Now that'll stay there like that. So I'm going to put a washer here and a washer here. Now for the time being, I'm going to have to deal with O-rings as a locker. And the reason I put the washers there is just to give it backing, so you know, if I lift it up or something, it's not going to be a big deal. But we're going to do the final securing here with O-rings. I still got a couple left of the right sides. I'm going to have to stock up on these. So then all we got to do is pop these little guys on here. Like so. There's O-ring number 1. And number 2. And with having an O-ring and a washer hot glued on the bottom, that ensures that it's not going to mess with my alignment of my hood going down at all. So we got that all done up. And we're going to call that done. And so if I pick it up, no big deal. It's going to take quite a bit to push those O-rings up. But for now, until I can find a better locking system for the top, these O-rings are going to have to do the job, and everything underneath looks pretty good there. So we're all set to go. And I also got my hook put on, or my bar that I was telling you about for doing the old tow hitch deal. So basically, I'm going to have to get a different kind of chain for this, but I can use these as the main hook. It's going to be a bit of a pain. There we go. I'll just put this on here. And this isn't the actual chain I'm going to use because this is a pretty weak chain, but I'm going to get some proper chain there that I can put a hook on each end with, that I can just, you know, drop on there instead of using this retarded lanyard thing. And so now I got basically like a little tow bar type of deal. And of course that's, like I said, is junky chain. Came off the little bracket thing, but you get the idea. The bar is in there. So what I had to do is actually drill the holes out a little larger for that, because that's actually, believe it or not, CB antenna. So it's good, strong stainless steel. And I put heat shrink in the middle here and shrunk it in, which is going to stop the pin from being able to move out on me. So it ain't coming out unless I cut the casing on the heat shrink tube and pull the tubing off. So that's it for this mod. Our next mod we're going to do is our light kit. I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to put the headlights in, top runner lights, tail lights. That's a whole new video though, and I don't think I'm going to do a step-by-step on that deal, but I wanted to do a step-by-step on installing this. So if you're thinking about doing this, you can. Now, the other thing I did too is I was talking to you about putting those preload spacers in. These preload spacers are actually out of my spare collection that I have from my Litehawk igniter and HSP Ghost. And I put one on each side, which is more than enough. So this isn't going to bottom out too easily while driving. And like I said, this is going to be more of a showpiece than, you know, something to bash. If I was going to bash it, then I would actually cut this fender piece back more for clearance so that it would never have a problem. And I don't have to cut that much out. I still might do that yet, I don't know. But right now, I'm actually really happy that this went as well as it did. And for my first one ever, I'm really super happy with the results. So next thing to do, of course, will be a driving video, and we're going to wait until a nice warmer day, and if the road is clean enough, I'll do it even though it is winter time. But otherwise, you know, I'll probably just wait till the spring or something. But I mean, it is still a Litehawk brute regardless, but now it's got more weight to it with this truck body. And we will show you the whole lighting kit system. Now, I do have a power box that I'm going to use. Instead of going off of the two connectors that are here on the receiver, I decided I've got a power box, and I'm going to get some good strong Velcro and Velcro the power box underneath the box in here, and then I'll be able to run my wiring down and in to keep it as hidden as possible. And same with all my head lighting, I'm going to run the wires and glue the wires up inside where you won't see them. And this way it'll also leave the box empty and free, you know, on top here, and still look really cool. So, and but otherwise we're finished. So let me know what you guys think, and I'm definitely going to do more of these for sure. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.